Good evening. Happy Hanukkah and welcome to Latke. I'm Hallie Dushan, Executive Director of Cole Israel Foundation. Tonight we welcome Beechwood native Seth Bookwald as our MC. Seth, now living in LA, has been on Modern Family, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Grey's Anatomy, and most impressively, is a graduate of Cleveland Hebrew Schools. He is also the son of Holocaust survivor Jeanette Bookwald, one of our treasured volunteers of our face-to-face education program. When we approached Seth about performing on Lakalak, he expressed how honored he would be to help an organization so dear to his heart. Seth will entertain us tonight with his unique brand of comedy and serve as the host of our trivia contest. But this evening's celebration goes beyond laughter and friendly competition. We joyfully honor 5 outstanding community members who support Cole Israel's mission of resilience, remembrance, and Holocaust education. Their work preserving the history of Holocaust, educating the community, and combating hatred is so inspiring. Proceeds from tonight's program will allow Cole Israel to present its Holocaust education program virtually through the pandemic and to other states and cities on an ongoing basis. Although the current health crisis prevents in-person presentations now, there is a need for Holocaust education indeed. Lessons on all types of intolerance is more critical now than ever. But now it's time to have fun. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the game. There are 3 more normal rounds and 2 bonus rounds. There are 8 multiple choice questions in each round, and you will have 20 seconds to answer each question. But keep in mind, the faster you answer the question, the more points you will receive. Okay, so now it's time to sit back, eat some of your popcorn, and enjoy the comedy of Seth Bookwald. Seth?
Welcome, Hallie. How you doing? Thank you so much.
Good.
For
How are
having
you?
Me. I really appreciate you. I'm. You know something? I am doing great, and I'll tell you why I say that, because I know 2020 has been an extremely difficult year for all of us, for everyone. But one thing you learn when you are a son and a grandson of Holocaust survivors is you cannot complain about anything, because whatever you complain about, they have got a story ready and waiting to go that trumps yours and is way worse. There's literally almost nothing that can happen to you where it won't remind them of something that's happened to them that was far, far worse, and it puts it into perspective pretty quick. So I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Like Hallie said, my mom volunteers for you guys. She is a Holocaust survivor. That's only part of the reason why I've been asked to MC tonight and give a little comedy. The real reason is that I've been invited here is because I went to college with Nina Light, your program director, and college is when I started doing comedy.
Program director.
Yeah, she was very studious back then, a better student than I ever was, and I know she does a great job for you guys. And we knew each other because we went to OU, not Ohio State. We went to OU, which had like 12 Jews on campus, so we all knew each other. And I was crazy even back then that people kind of knew I would be going into comedy. And during our first Zoom call, if you recall, Nina says to me at the end of the call, she's like, "Hey Seth, what are you driving now?" And I'm like, college was 30 years ago. So I'm not thinking about it. I'm going, well, I've got 5-year-old twins, like every middle-aged Jewish guy. I got the Toyota minivan. Like, what do you mean? And she goes, well, I remember you had the hearse. Yeah, back in college, I drove a 1972 Cadillac hearse. And I wasn't a goth guy, one of those guys that dress all in black. I just thought it would be funny. And quite frankly, in 1973, So if you remember in the early 70s, there was the oil embargo and the price of gas skyrocketed. And so um, Cadillac redesigned their hearses. They made them a lot smaller, a lot more fuel efficient, and everyone got rid of their old hearses. So here in Los Angeles, all the surfers bought all the old hearses so they could get their surfboards in the back. But in Cleveland, nobody had any use for these things. So there's this parking lot full of old hearses. I got mine. It had 50,000 miles on it at the time, which equaled less than 5,000 miles a year on that car. Not a scratch, not a dent on it. It was probably the most beautiful car I've ever owned. And it was actually a lot of fun, for a high school kid. All your friends could fit in the back, and you never got a parking ticket, and you had the right of way wherever you went. You pull up at a red light, and people would like wave you through. And it was a lot of fun. But as you can well imagine, the big problem was bringing it home to my parents for the first time, because I knew better than to ask to buy it. They would never give permission for that. So I went and bought it, and I brought it home. And of course, I was, by being by the time I was a senior in high school, I was used to driving my parents crazy, and so there it was in the driveway, and instantly, because it's Beechwood, my mom gets phone calls. The neighbors are calling, and my mom picks up the phone, and they're like, "Oh, Jeanette, is Frank okay?" Because they see, if my mom's answering the phone, they see the hearse, they think something's wrong with my dad. So my mom's like, "Oh no, Frank is fine, but our son is in trouble." And so I was used to this, I was used to driving my parents crazy. But the person I was really worried about was my grandfather. My mother, during the Holocaust, was, 4 or 5 years old. And the only reason she survived is because my grandparents, Sam and Sylvia Auerbach, took care of her. And here's the 5-second resume on my grandfather. But he was in World War II. He was in his early 20s. When he was 12, his father died. He left school to work in a textile factory. During World War II, he was captured by the Nazis. He escaped. He was captured by the Russians, sent to Siberia. So this is a serious man that we are talking about. And I think actually the time he spent in Siberia was the reason why we're in Cleveland. He, after the war, he came to Ellis Island, and he's like, "Okay, where are the Jews?" And they're like, "Well, there's a lot of them in New York. It's a little expensive. Expensive? Forget about it. Where's a good deal?" "Well, there's Florida. There's Boca Raton." "Well, Boca Raton, what's that?" "It means the mouth of a rat." "A rat? Forget about it." Tell me about where else are the Jews?" "Oh, there's a lot of Jews in Cleveland." "Cleveland? Tell me about Cleveland." "Well, they'll get 1-2 feet of snow overnight." "Oh, that sounds great. Only 2 feet of snow? That's perfect for me. Okay, Cleveland." So my grandfather comes over. He sees the car in the driveway. He comes in. He goes to my mom. He's like, "So whose car is this?" And my mom goes, "Ask your grandson." I wasn't home at the time. I was like 10 minutes from coming home, 20 minutes from coming home, and he's waiting on the driveway now. So I come into the house, and I come into the driveway, and my grandfather's there, and I'm thinking, "Oh boy, this is not going to be easy." I walk up to him, and he goes, "So whose car is this?" My grandfather, he wasn't a lawyer, but just like every, Jewish grandfather or Jewish father, they're a lawyer in that they know you never ask a question you don't already know the answer to. So he's like, "Whose car is this?" And I start going in on the look, these cars are cheap, and and all of that. I start going in on that, and I go, "It's mine," and I start going in on the explanation, and he cuts me off, and he goes, "A Cadillac? My grandson owns a Cadillac. I knew he'd be a success." And he was felling over this. He was going crazy. "Look at how beautiful this car is. Such a beautiful. How much did you pay? You such a deal." such a deal for this car. I can't believe it. I'm like, oh, Grandpa, you like it? Oh, I love it. Such a deal. Such a deal. Grandpa, you want to drive in this car? A hearse? Let me tell you, you have many years before you put me in a hearse. But such a deal. Anyways, so
that's great.
The reason why I tell you this, the reason why I tell you this story is because like I was lucky enough that my grandfather lived a long time, but he did not make it to my wedding. So at my wedding toast, I told this story about my grandfather, and I told it because my wife has two older children from a previous marriage, and they are great girls. They are so great. And I basically said, I wish my grandfather was here. For the price of one wedding, I have 3 fantastic women in my life. Such a deal. Such a deal. And the people who were at my wedding, they really loved this toast, and they really loved this story, and they loved it so much that the photographer, how on the bottom of wedding photos they put the name, they put the date. The photographer they usually put it on the left side. On the right side, they put on all the photos, such a deal, in quotes. And my wife saw it and she's like, oh, look, this is so nice. This is so lovely. What do you think about that? Isn't it great? And I'm like, yeah, it's great. And she's like, what could be the problem? Like, what now? What are you going to fetch about now? I go, because it's not such a deal. It's such a deal. TSUCHA, such a deal. My grandfather had never said, and my grandmother never said such a in their life. It's such a deal. And that's why what Kol Israel does is such important. The historians are going to get the numbers and the dates and the locations of the Holocaust right, but they're not going to get the flavor of the people. They're not going to get their voices. They're not going to get their spirit. That is up to us. We have to preserve that. That's what Kol Israel does so well. That's why I'm so happy I'm here hosting the show with you.
Thank you,
speaking of such a deal, I know people paid to be here, but I'm telling you, I looked over the prizes that you guys have. I remember in Cleveland, at the Cleveland Hebrew School, we had to sell Passover candy, and you got these prizes. I don't even remember what they were. They were these schmeckadika prizes. You guys have some great stuff here tonight, and in fact, I know you guys got so much that you had to have a bonus round, and then a bonus round. So we're up for the first trivia. I'll come back with some more jokes, some more stories. But tell us what I believe we're ready for the first trivia. Tell them what they're playing.
Okay, well, let me tell everyone what the first prize is, which is pretty amazing. We have gift certificates to Shaker Rocks, Legacy Village, Tibor's Meats, Monica Salon, where you can get a cut, blow dry, and a product. Gifts. Can I have that? I have not had a haircut
since COVID ended. Since COVID began. Can I get that one? Because I have not had a haircut. Sure. I know I look like the guy who paints my
notoriety and a beautiful necklace from Robert and Gabriel Jewelers. So let's get started with round 1 and have some fun.
Now we're playing just to make sure everyone's got it correct. And this is not round 1 yet. This is a practice round. Of I think 2-3 questions. This is not for prizes. This is just so everyone is familiar with the system, and everyone at home can get a feel for how the system works for when we play the real round. So this is just a test round that we're playing right now. So right, here we go with the test round. This doesn't count for anything. You'll see from the questions. Here we go. So you get the 10-minute start clock, so they don't catch you off guard. And here we go with question 1. As you can see, they're not exactly SAT questions on the first round. It's going to get harder. I've seen the questions. Man, some of them.
What is 2 + 2?
What is 2 + 2? A, 4, B, 22, C, 5, D, 150. Put in your choice. The answer is 4. Do we get to see the answer? All right, next question. 2. What is the third letter of the alphabet? A, A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E. You'll get 20 seconds on the clock. And as you can see, as each second counts away, it's less and less points. So speed count. And the answer is C.
All right, great.
All right.
So I think everyone's comfortable. We should move to round 1.
All right. Do we get a breakdown of who wins, or we're ready for round 1? We're ready for round 1. This round, as you can see, famous people. Now we're playing for the prizes that we've talked about. Let's. I think we're ready to go with round 1.
Let's go.
Here we go. 10 seconds. Get ready. All right. Question 1. Here we go. Who's on first? Abbott and Costello. B. Laurel and Hardy. C. Martin Lewis. D. Cheech and Chong. Hallie, why is Big Chuck and Little John on the list?
I don't know.
Remember them from late night Cleveland TV? That's from old late night Cleveland TV. The answer is Abbott and Costello. All right. Question number 2. Which baseball player refused to play first game of the World Series because it fell on Yom Kippur? A. Al Rosen. B. Hank Greenberg. C. Sandy Koufax. D. Steve Rosenberg. E. Mo Berg. All right. It is C. Sandy Koufax. Next question. Question 3. In which Olympics did Mark Spitz win 7 gold medals? A. Munich. B. Mexico City. C. Tokyo. D. Montreal. And what? E. Beechwood? Beechwood used to have an Olympic pool. Remember that before they built the thing? Beechwood had an Olympic pool. I guess that Mark Spitz inspired him. And the answer is A. Munich. All right, question 4. Who played Queen Elizabeth II in the first 2 seasons of The Crown? A. Helen Mirren. B. Kate Blanchett. C. Olivia Colman. D. Claire Foy. Or E. Fran Drescher. Did Fran Drescher not make the list? Come on.
She didn't make the list.
She was born for that role. The answer is Claire Foy. All right, we're halfway through. Let's see how we're doing. Let's get some rankings here. So,
Hetty
currently is number 1 with 356 points. Sean with 333. Third is Marilyn. But here's the deal. As you can see from how the points work, it's still anybody's game. It is still anybody's game. All right, let's get on with question. What are we up to? 5. Question 5. Which group of Jewish warriors do we celebrate at Hanukkah? A. The Maccabees. B. The Maccabees. C. The Macaroons. D. The Macarenas.
Macarena.
I gotta say this. The Macarenas. I gotta say this before we move on to question 6. Let's find out the answer. It's the Maccabees. Let me say this before we move on to question 6. Cleveland, right here, this is your answer. You just got rid of the Cleveland Indians. I say we change it to the Cleveland Maccabees. You can still say it's the tribe, right? It'll just be Jewish baseball players, people who were picked last in gym class. That's okay. And instead of the coach arguing with the ref, we'll get lawyers to argue their case. I'm telling you, the Cleveland Maccabees to replace.
I doubt that would happen. Trust me.
Hey, I'm just saying. But have somebody Jewish draw Rabbi Wahoo. You don't want a bad stereotype drawn. Anyways, question 6. Let's move on. Who voices Elsa in Frozen? Michelle Lee. B. Audra McDonald. C. Idina Menzel. D. Bernadette Peters. E. Patti LuPone. Let it go. That is a slogan. That should be like the slogan for marriage. You gotta learn to let it go. Adina Menzel is the answer. Question 7. Who is the only musician ever to have been awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature? A. Bob Dylan. B. Barbra Streisand. C. Paul Simon. D. Leonard Bernstein. I guess Garfunkel didn't make the cut? Nope, that's too bad. The answer is A. Bob Dylan. Last question. Question 8. Which of the following stars is listed among the 18 Jewish celebrities named in the comedian Adam Sandler's famous Hanukkah song? A. Lauren Bacall. B. Larry David. C. The Three Stooges. D. Howie Mandel. E. Dolly Parton. There's a chance. Oh, no. C. Three Stooges. All right. That is the last and final question of this round. Let's find out who won the prizes.
Hetty. Wow.
Hetty, congratulations. Congratulations. And I think we need to explain.
Hetty.
Yeah, congratulations. And I think we need to explain that. So we've got bonus rounds. We've got the 3 rounds, the bonus rounds, that once you win.
Don't talk about the surprise.
No,
we don't go past the bonus round.
No. But once you win a round, you can't win another round. But stick around because you can win at the bonus rounds. It'll be explained, right? You'll explain it.
Seth, you're killing me.
I'm killing you? I didn't want her to think she could win the next round. I didn't want people to think Hetty was going to sweep this thing. That's all.
Just everyone stay tuned, okay? Let's talk about what's coming up next. Next, we're going to see a short video about our 5 award winners. Every year at our fundraiser, Cole Israel honors someone very special in the community. But we figured there are so many people, so many wonderful people, we decided that we wanted to honor 5 people. We have 5 different categories. And instead of us making it on our own, we decided to take it out to the community. We wanted people to get engaged and have some fun. So there's an Educator Award, a Media Award, Humanitarian Award, Legacy Award, and Remembrance Award. And we asked all of you to submit nominations based off of the criteria that we put out there. And we got some really great feedback. And well, let's watch the video.
I want to thank the Cole Israel Foundation for this prestigious honor, which I accept on behalf of the Cleveland Jewish News. The missions of our organizations have mirrored each other for decades. It is our responsibility to keep alive the stories of the victims of the Holocaust for generations to come. Our work is more important today than it ever has been. Recent survey after survey about Holocaust education is alarming. Some believe the Jews were responsible for the Shoah for personal gain. Others believe the 6 million who perished is an inflated number. But more alarming is the number of people who believe the Holocaust just did not happen. As a child of Holocaust survivors, as you mentioned, Armin and Elizabeth Jacob of blessed memory, and they were lifetime Cole Israel members, I know firsthand the outstanding work the Cole Israel Foundation does. I want them to continue to keep that work up in the future. At this time, I would like to congratulate Cole Israel on a successful Latke Luck event, as well as all the other award winners tonight. In closing, our organizations have a responsibility to ensure that the world never forgets the Holocaust. May the Cole Israel Foundation go from strength to strength. Thank you.
It truly came as a wonderful surprise and right on time because, in the times that we are with COVID, where things are very up in the air, don't know what's going to happen, this is some happiness that was very, very well needed. So I appreciate it and I'm grateful. Thank you. I love your foundation just because of the need and willingness to record and make sure that the memory, history stays alive. Because as African American, I wish I would have asked questions of my great grandmother, what it was like to be the child of a slave. I'm just so glad that there is a way to record history, but also use it as a connection to the present. And that's all I want. I want kids to know that what happens in the past, if we're not careful, it could happen again. And, just use your organization as a tool so that way they can feel empowered to not only preserve history, but create a better history for themselves.
Thank you so much. It really is quite an honor to be recognized by Cole Israel Foundation. It really is quite an honor. The Holocaust education that is part of my role in the archives is about preserving stories, about working with the community, also it's simply always been a part of my work in Polish Jewish history, part of my academic training, part of my research and writing, so I'm very pleased to be able to do it as well as part of my work in the archives and with the local community.
I'm honored to receive the award. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Cole Israel. And to me, it's quite meaningful to be able to be involved in Cole Israel's face-to-face program. With my past as an educator and with my family background, both of my parents having come from Europe in 1939, it was very important to them to share their stories. And now I believe it's my turn to share their stories and help educate the community, and in particularly young people, on the lessons of the Holocaust.
Well, I can't thank you and Cole Israel enough for the Remembrance Award. For both me personally and for the organization, there are not too many things more important than remembering and honoring the lives of those that both survived and those that didn't survive the Holocaust, and to carry down those teachings and those stories, so as we all say, so it never happens again. Education is a large part of what we do in our ADL office, and it will continue to be a large part of what we do. What I always say is education is the largest tool in our toolbox to combat hate and combat anti-Semitism, because nobody is born with hate. Hate is learned, and it can be unlearned.
Congratulations again to Bob Jacob, Catherine Ann Barney Cheney from my alma mater, Beechwood High School. Go Bisons. Congratulations to Sean Martin, Peggy Well-Dorfman, and James Pash. Congratulations, guys, for all your great work.
Congratulations. Thank you. All right, Steph, looks like we're going to move on to round two.
Round two, what are the prizes?
What are the prizes? So for round two, in this beautiful basket, there are gift certificates to Club Pilates, 56 Kitchen, Legacy Village, Davis Bakery, East Coast Custard. There are gifts from La Bella Vita, Spa Room, and an air fryer from Turney's Ace Hardware. And you will receive a 1-hour style consultant with Hallie Abrams of the Wardrobe Consultant. Someone is going to be a very lucky winner. So let's get the game started.
Outstanding. This is history and geography. Again, 8 questions, 20 seconds each, starting very soon. Here we go. First question coming up. Which of these countries was not one of the 6 founding members of the European Union? A, Belgium, B, Spain, C, Luxembourg, D, West Germany. I guess Narnia did not make the list this time. And the answer is B, Spain. All right, second question. Which is the smallest country in the world? A, Vatican City, B, Israel, C, Absurdistan, D, Burundi. Absurdistan, I believe that's where Borat is from.
Right.
All right. Answer is the Vatican
Vatican.
City. All right. Number 3. Question 3. Which president had the first menorah in the White House? A. George H.W. Bush. B. Barack Obama. C. Bill Clinton. D. Donald Trump. I'll tell you this: if Bernie Sanders won, he wouldn't have had the first, but he would have had the biggest. All right. The answer is George H.W. Bush, first menorah in the White House. Question 4. What is the longest river in the world? A. The Nile. B. Amazon. C. Mississippi. D. The River Styx. E. River Phoenix.
Nile.
The answer is A. The Nile. All right, we're at the halfway point. Let's find out where we stand on the leaderboard. Hetty again.
Hetty. Awesome.
And then
The Jew
coming in
Luck
second
Club.
is the Jew Luck Club.
Great.
So do I not understand the rules?
Okay.
Just to clarify, Hetty cannot win again until the bonus rounds, correct?
Exactly. Until after the
But
buzzer.
she's in the lead.
Uh,
You can still
I
crush
don't see
people.
my family up there, Steph.
I'm
Ah,
sorry, what?
I don't see my family up there. Come on, guys, get with it.
There we go. Now we got
Jelly
more people
donut?
up there. All right, so the Jew Luck Club is in second place, but in first place to win the prize, the 260. And again, you see how it works? It's anyone's game. All right, let's get back to it. Question 5.
Okay.
Divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. Who was Henry VIII's last wife who sparked the king's excommunication from the Catholic Church? A. Marie Antoinette. B. Anne Boleyn. C. Jane Seymour. D. Catherine Parr. I'll tell you this: I've been in bad relationships, but even I know when I'm ready to get beheaded. The answer is D. Catherine Parr. Uh-oh. That's me. Sorry. Catherine Parr.
Yeah.
Question 6. It's on the computer, right? All right. Question 6. What was the name of Charles Lindbergh's plane in which he completed the first solo transatlantic flight? A. The Spruce Goose. B. The Spirit of St. Louis. C. Memphis Belle. D. Lucy Goose. I hope he gets more legroom than I get when I play coach. B. Spirit of St. Louis. Question 7. When did compulsory driving testing begin? A. 1920, B. 1927, C. 1930, D. 1935, E. 1937. I'll tell you this: you brought up my mother. As you know this, forget about driving. She bikes. She's in her 80s. I won't give the exact age, but she bikes everywhere unless it is snowing, even in winter. When the answer is D. 1935.
That's amazing.
Question
Turn your
8.
phone on.
It's not my phone. It's coming through the computer. It's not my computer. Question 8. I'm sorry about that, guys. Question 8. In what year was the first iPhone introduced? A. 1999. B. 2001. C. 2005. D. 2007. I know the iPad was introduced in 2010. I don't know about you. I had an iPad when I was a kid, but it was called the Etch-a-Sketch. It had one app called Stairs. All right, the answer is D. 2007. Let's find out who won. Hetty, again, crushing it here. But second place
So who's next?
is... Second place is that Maroff? Is that who wins the
All right.
prize? Where's the official rule?
Yes. The official rule is that Maroff won that awesome prize basket. Wonderful. Congratulations. All right, Seth. So
All right.
you kind of gave out the secret already, but if you want to kind of explain what's going on.
So Cole Israel got so many amazing gifts. The community, the community in Cleveland kind of came out to donate. The business community really supported Cole Israel here, and so there's going to be. I don't want to give anything away that I can't give away. We've got 2 bonus rounds, and then a bonus round.
No.
There's 3
Okay.
bonus
So
rounds.
let me explain everything.
Okay.
So we have one more regular round. Sorry, Seth, but
No,
we
no.
got one more regular round. We have 2 bonus rounds, and then we have 1 final bonus round, which
Yes.
is amazing. And
Yeah.
even if you won in a previous round, you can still play in this final bonus round. It's open to everyone. And the value of this prize is $2,500. So
Yeah.
make sure you stick around to the end because it's going to be great. Okay, so let's move forward and give out some more prizes. Let me tell you what the prizes are for the 3rd round. Prizes for 3rd round. Chef Zach Ruel's flagship restaurant, Parallax. Gift certificate for Pinstripes, Block Brothers at Home, Canoe, Tony's and Sugar and Salt, Studio MZ, Larder's Deli. And an executive director-led behind-the-scenes 4 for 10 of Kent State Fashion Museum, including a look into the vault where thousands of outfits throughout the ages are stored, plus an item from the museum store, and a gift from the spa. So, nice basket. Let's see who's going to win this round. Let's go.
It's going to be nice. Here we go. So these are fun facts in pop culture. Again, 8 questions, 20 seconds each. We'll take a break in the middle to see who's winning. Let's get going with question number 1. Get ready. Here it comes. How many total candles are lit throughout Hanukkah? A, 56, B, 44, C, 72, D, 42. Now, interestingly enough, the number of candles in a package of Hanukkah candles is different than this number. So it's like hot dogs and hamburgers, where the number of buns and the number of hot dogs.
Because they all break
The answer is
easy.
Huh?
Because they break easy.
Yeah, oh, really is. All right, question number 2. What is the capital of Westeros from Game of Thrones? A, King's Landing, B, Wakanda, C, Targaryen, D, Casterly Rock, E, Zamunda. The answer is King's Landing. All right, question 3. How does James Bond prefer his cocktails? A, up, not down. B, shaken, not stirred. C, stirred, not shaken. D, olives, not onions. E was shake and bake. Is there going to be a Jewish James Bond ever?
No.
That's what I want. And the answer is shaken, not stirred.
Shaken, not stirred.
Question 4. The song Eye of the Tiger is from what movie? A, Tiger King, B, Rocky 2, C, Rocky 3, D, The Lion King. All right. And the answer is Rocky 3. Let's find out who is winning. Is it going to be Hetty again? Is it Hetty?
I think it might
That's
be
from-
Henny again. Ah,
Oh,
Rick and Tara.
where did it go?
Awesome.
Hetty is 10. Wow. Rick
So
and Tara.
happy.
Coming out of
that's Henny.
nowhere.
I'm glad that's Henny.
You want,
Okay,
you want a
great.
clap. Rick and Tara in first place. Only 3 points behind is Susan R. All right. Here we go. Question 5. In the Harry Potter book series, which character is described as having a wild, tangled beard? A, Fagin, B, Crabbe, C, Hagrid, D, Bogard, E, Barty Crouch. I had to be told that it was crab and not crabby because of that spelling. Let's find out the answer. C. Hagrid. Next question, question 6. What is on top of the Wimbledon trophy? A. Tennis ball. B. Crown. C. Pineapple. D. Tennis racket. Or E. The afikomen.
The afikomen.
Here we go. C. A pineapple. All right, next question. Which color is not represented among the colors of the Olympic logo? A. Blue. B. Yellow. C. White. D. Black. And again, is not represented among the Olympic logo. All right, the answer is C. White. Last question. Which celebrity is not Jewish? A. Scarlett Johansson. B. Jimmy Kimmel. C. Seth Rogen. D. Jack Black. I guess what, Seinfeld didn't make the list?
Not this time.
Possible non-Jews. All right. The answer is Jimmy Kimmel. I actually met him during the show. He's a really nice guy.
Awesome.
All right, let's find out who won. Who's the winner? Hetty again. No. Rick and Tara.
Awesome.
All right, 586. Oh, they pulled ahead. They really pulled ahead. You win the big prize. Outstanding.
You do. So happy.
All right, Hallie.
All right.
What do we have?
Congratulations,
before we
guys.
continue on with more trivia.
I'm sorry?
Before we continue on with more trivia, I know you have something for us here.
We do. We're going to watch a short video. So, Stevie, let's go. In the early 1950s, alone and strangers in a strange land, these courageous men and women, many who were the last surviving members of their families, formed strong bonds. They became not only lifelong friends, but family. In 1959, the group met at the home of Anne and Mike Frum and officially started Kol Israel. In 1961, Kol Israel built a monument dedicated to the 6 million Jews who perished in the Holocaust. Ashes collected from 3 different concentration camps are buried beneath it. In 2017, a historical marker was awarded to Kol Israel by the Ohio History Connection, acknowledging that this monument is the first of its kind in the United States. Today, with resounding strength and commitment, Kol Israel has grown to include survivors, second, third, and fourth generation children, and supporters to honor the lives of Holocaust survivors and engage the community to preserve the legacy and the lessons of the Holocaust.
I am the voice of those who perished in the Holocaust. I bear witness for the Jewish people who suffered for reasons of discrimination and hate.
All the survivors have a completely different story because in order to survive, you had to be at the right place at the right time. You had to be the right age, maybe even the right sex. You had to have somebody helping you. And besides that, you had to be lucky.
I had a job at American Greetings. So as I was walking home, since I'm Jewish and wearing a skull cap, a car passed me and yelled out, "You dirty Jew." Well, I thought I would never ever hear that in this country.
There are more and more people who deny that the Holocaust ever happened. And as long as us Holocaust survivors are still alive, we have to make sure that people realize that it unfortunately happened. And no amount of deniers can take it away.
It is important for me to tell my experience in the Holocaust because I feel that God helped me to survive to tell the world what happened.
When I meet the people that I speak to, it's nice. I like to talk to them and I like to hear what they think and it's interesting how they react to what I tell them. I get the feeling that they're thinking about it, and that's what I want them to do.
I heard about an organization called Face to Face. I find it very important for me to talk to young people about hatred.
And that we must accept the differences between people. And we have to have respect for all people. Respect is the most important thing. You have to remember, even if you disagree with the people on your religion, your beliefs, your anything, you've got to respect them. And if you respect them, then you can't hate.
People need to be aware, so this kind of suffering shouldn't happen to any human being on this earth ever again. People need to speak up against hate.
One of the things we say, you have to watch for the signs. And the signs now are scary. And the propaganda and not telling the truth, trying to disengage the media, that's all a bad sign.
And there is absolutely no place in this world for any kind of hatred like this. So it's very important that when you see or hear something, don't be afraid to speak out.
And as long as the kids see us in person, they will remember then that it happened.
Our youth are the future of our world. We need to teach them, as it is not too late for them to learn. It will be up to them to learn from our mistakes to eliminate hate and discrimination.
So I have to keep telling, especially young people, what really happened, because it can't be forgotten. And maybe in the future, some of those young people will be the ones that can prevent it from happening again.
Our programs provide the opportunity to learn about the Holocaust and apply its lessons to combat hatred and anti-Semitism by encouraging moral development and fostering a sense of personal responsibility. Kol Israel is currently creating innovative ways to reach students virtually. Whether they are sitting in a traditional classroom or attending school online, by combining our face-to-face and sharing our stories programs into a virtual format that promotes remembrance, relevance, and personal responsibility through the lessons of the Holocaust. Topics presented by knowledgeable docents combining personal stories and historical information and firsthand testimony from a survivor or adult child of a survivor provides an opportunity for generational interaction that cannot be replicated. To date, our programs, Face-to-Face and Sharing Our Stories, have reached over 56,000 students in Cuyahoga County and 11 surrounding counties. We are currently working with 14 schools districts with the plan to bring that total number to 20 by the end of the school year.
That was, I gotta say this. We had a dry run yesterday, and the video wasn't ready yet. I didn't get a chance to see it. It's my first time seeing it, and I really enjoy that video. So many of those ladies reminded me of my grandmother, who I miss so much, and that was a really great video. Thanks for putting that together, Hallie.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's time to have some more fun, though, right now.
Let's give away some prizes. What do you have?
Yeah, we are
This is the first
bonus round one, right? And the prize for bonus round one is a gorgeous ceramic white stone menorah, which is from District Gallery. And I gotta tell you, I think it's one of my favorite prizes. I just think it's absolutely stunning. So who's gonna be the lucky winner of this prize? Let's see, let's get started.
Now that menorah looks enormous.
It's enormous. Actually, it's 13 by 15. It's pretty big.
13
inches by 15.
Inches? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Bonus round 1. Here we go. 10 seconds. Get ready. First question. Who developed the first system of banking for pilgrims heading to the Holy Land? A, the Freemasons. B, the Knights Templar. C, the Cathars. Or D, the Moors. Boy, I'll tell you, I'm sure someone got a $20 overdraft fee during that trip to the Holy Land. Let's see. The answer is B, Knights Templar. Question number 2. Who was the only U.S. president to serve more than 2 terms? A, Grover Cleveland. B, Theodore Roosevelt. B, Franklin D. Roosevelt. D, Dwight D. Eisenhower. I didn't even know to this question that we had a president that served more than 2 terms. The answer is C, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Question number 3. What amendment and corresponding year gave women the right to vote? A, 21st Amendment in 1938. B, the 18th Amendment in 1917. C, the 19th Amendment in 1930. Or D, the 19th Amendment in 1920. The answer is D, 19th in 1920, the 100th year anniversary. Next question, question 4. Who was the French scientist that developed the first vaccine for rabies? I'm going to mispronounce all of these. Here we go. Georges Cuvier, Louis Pasteur, Pierre Curie, or Joseph Meister? It was Louis Pasteur. All right, let's see who's leading. Hetty, back in! My money is on back in. Is someone slipping Hetty the answers? This can't be.
I think so.
All right. Now, is she, all right. Now, is she eligible to win the bonus or only the last bonus? How does
No, just the final.
But she can still
Just
play?
the final round,
So
not this one.
At this point, the prize would go to Stan, 291 points. But again, it's close enough. It's close enough. It could be anybody. Question 5. Who was the 19th century scientist that discovered X-rays? Marie Curie, Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, or Mary Shelley? And the answer is Marie Curie. Question 6. What is the name of the plane that dropped the first atomic bomb on Hiroshima? A, the Canary. B, Enola Gay. C, Memphis Belle. D, Spirit of St. Louis. All right, let's find out. It is Enola Gay. B. Question 7. Which U.S. general is famous for saying, document everything, because one day someone will say this never happened? A, Patton. B, MacArthur. C, Schwarzkopf. Or D, Eisenhower? The answer is Eisenhower. Question 8, the final question. What former freed Nazi scientist helped to develop the Apollo program that sent people to the moon? Is it A, Robert Oppenheimer, B, Wernher von Braun, C, Enrico Fermi, or D, Otto Hahn? The answer is A, Wernher von Braun. That was question 8. Let's find out who wins the menorah.
Stan.
Stan.
Dan,
Man, 590
congratulations.
points. Congratulations.
I may or may not give you this menorah thing. Okay, this is awesome.
All right,
Seth, you're up.
congratulations.
You have like
All right. All right. So guess what? This
That's
is
the pushy Jewish woman that I am, but you got like 3.
3 what? Okay. So listen, if you could turn down the background music, just so you know what this is basically for. This part of the show is so everyone can have a bathroom break because we got 2 more bonus rounds that you do not want to miss. You want a piss break. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with me being the guy who talks during the pitch break. And here's why. You know how elderly people will tell you the same story over and over again? And it's not that they have a bad memory. They just want to revisit that particular memory. They enjoy talking about it. They know they've told you the story. This is going to be so crazy. This is my grandmother's favorite story about World War II. She has told me this dozens of times. She's laughed every time she's told it. After the war is over, they're taking a train back to Poland, and that train is packed. It is packed with people. And during the ride, they were with my grandmother's sister. And both my grandmother and her sister, again, some background on them, they're both probably 100 pounds, 90 of which is chutzpah. And the train was so packed that my aunt could not get to the bathroom, and they were near the window, and she's like, forget it. And she had to take a piss, and she hikes up her skirt, she sticks her tuchus out the window and takes a piss on this moving train. And so when she's done, my grandmother sticks her head out to get a little fresh air, and she sees that at that moment a guy also had stuck his head out, and because the train was moving, my aunt had pissed on him. My grandma, and okay, so on the next train stop, this guy comes into their train to find my grandmother and is yelling at her, like, how could you piss on me? And she's like, how do you know it was me? You know what my tuchus looks like? How do you know what my tuchus looks like? How do you know it was me? And to me, of all the hundreds of stories that my grandmother has, this is her favorite to tell. And I think, and it's so funny to me, after all that's happened to these people, this is the end of the war, after all that's happened, they still can fetch. Like, that is the ability to fetch. The ability to fetch. This is like the you know, like the African Americans have the blues, the Jews have kvetching. That's a story that my grandmother loved to tell about World War II, but the story that made her famous, that not made her famous, but the most famous story about her in the Holocaust is when World War II happened. Like, there was, as you recall from history, there was the Blitzkrieg. She was in Poland, and Germany and the Russians came in, and they took Poland very quickly. And my grandmother was on the wrong side. She was on the German side, but they knew this was not the place to be. So they tried to get over to the Russian side. My grandfather went ahead to secure some housing. My grandmother followed after her with my mother, who's, you know, like 3 or 4 at the time. My grandmother had a beautiful fur coat, but she took a bad wool coat, put it over the fur coat, and sewed it up. So the fur coat was now on the inside, so you couldn't tell. And on the inner pocket of the wool coat, which you couldn't get to now because it was covered up by the fur coat, she put jewelry, her family's jewelry. They're going to the border, and she's being frisked by a German woman to see if she's smuggling anything, and they don't catch the jewelry. But the German woman starts trying to take apart my mother's doll, and it's her only toy. It's her favorite toy, and she's about to break the doll open. And my grandmother says, there's nothing in the doll. This poor little girl, don't destroy her one and only toy. Here in my pocket, I have jewelry. The woman takes the jewelry. She takes my grandmother into a room with 6 German soldiers. They put the jewelry on the table. And my grandmother, who was an excellent student, spoke perfect German. And they said, what are you trying to smuggle jewelry? What's going on? And my grandmother stood up straight with all her chutzpah. And she says, Well, it's not safe for a young woman to travel. Who knows who could take advantage of you, you know? And keep in mind, at this point, they could have taken her out and shot her in front of all the other travelers as an example. They could have put her on a train to who knows where. But they looked at her. She had so much chutzpah as a woman in her young 20s. They said, "Fine, take it," and she got away. All the jewelry is gone to feed them, to bribe guards. But that's what kept my family alive. Is that jewelry? My grandmother's chutzpah. Speaking of jewelry, the next prize, a great prize, and now you're gonna have. If you win, you're gonna have a great story to tell on how you got this jewelry. Tell them about it.
Right. So the prize for bonus round number 2 is a beautiful David Yurman bracelet from Alson Jewelers. So let's get some things going and see who's going to be the lucky winner of this bracelet.
Bonus round number 2, 8 questions. You know how it works. 8 questions, 20 seconds each. You got to be fast. So here we go. I hope you're back from your piss break. Because here we go.
We would find that.
Question 1: Who was the Prime Minister of Israel in 1971? Was it A, Golda Meir, B, Dr. Ruth, C, David Ben Gurion, or D, Yitzhak Rabin, or E, Dr. Ruth? The answer is A, Golda Meir. Question number 2. Where were the Dead Sea Scrolls discovered? A, Masada, B, Haifa, C, Jerusalem, or D, Qumran, or D, Camp Wise. Did you go to Camp Wise?
Camp Wise.
I loved it.
I didn't, but my kids.
All right, the answer, Qumran. Question 3. Am I saying it right now? Come on. Question 3. Which sect of religious Jews were believed to have written the Dead Sea Scrolls? A, the Cohens, B, the Essenes, C, the Levites, or D, the Goldbergs?
The Goldbergs, definitely.
All right. The answer is B, the Essenes. All right, question 4. What diamond mine is considered to be the biggest in the world? A, Veneta, B, I'm not even going to pronounce this correct. B, Gwenang.
This is the best.
C, Dal, D, Udashini. I think you should take a shot of Manischewitz every time I mispronounce something.
Right.
All right. But you can read it. So what is the answer? It is C, alcohol. Not even close.
Okay.
Who knows?
You did good. You did good.
Question. All right. Let's find out who's leading the way. Hetty! Oh no, Goody!
Goody!
Hetty's number 4. We got Goody. 317. Close second. 288. Nanzine. I think I pronounced that right. All right. Here we go with question number 5. What early 1900s American industrialists led the expansion of the steel industry? A, Andrew Carnegie, B, John D. Rockefeller, C, Henry Ford, D, J.P. Morgan, E, Jeff Bezos. And it is Andrew Carnegie. The Carnegie or Carnegie? Either way, I'm sure I'm wrong.
We went through this
Question
yesterday.
6.
Whatever you feel.
Question 6. What is the name of the mineral called fool's gold? A, anthracite, B, taconite, C, calcite, D, pyrite, D, dynamite. No, that is Jimmy Walker. The answer is D, pyrite. Question 7. Am I saying that right, Elise? Question? Am I saying the question correct? Question 7. Which famous diamond is widely suspected and cursed? A, the Pink Panther, B, the Hope Diamond, C, the Heart of the Ocean, D, the Koh-i-Noor Diamond, or E, Neil Diamond?
Neil.
The answer is the
Oh,
Hope Diamond. Last question. Which yellow volcanic mineral is known for its vile smell? A, phosphorus, B, magnesium, C, sulfur, D, silica. Or D, frankisite. No, Frank is my dad who can smell the bathroom, that's for sure.
oh, that's great.
The answer, let's have the answer. Not frankisite. Let's have the answer. C, sulfur. Hey, it's not a comedy show for me unless I can embarrass my parents a little. C, sulfur.
All right.
All right, let's
Who
find
is
out
the
the big
lucky
winner.
winner? Goody.
Goody.
You won a beautiful bracelet. Congratulations. Very
Mazel
excited
tov.
for you. All right, guys. This is the final round.
Final round. This is it.
Yes, everyone can play, even if you've won before. I'm supposed to give you some clues about this round, but I really don't have any without giving it away to you. But I think that the questions you're going to be answering are going to give you some clues. So, without any further ado, let's go.
Final round. This is for the big prize. Here we go. What Clevelander coined the term rock and roll? Was it A, Alan Freed, B, Leo Mintz, C, Casey Kasem, D, Wolfman Jack? How did John Lanigan not make the list?
I don't know.
All right, the answer, Alan Freed. Question number 2. Here we go. Which one of the 4 people did not die on the day the music died? Is it A, Richie Valens, B, the Big Bopper, C, Buddy Holly, D, Jerry Lee Lewis, or E, Keith Richards? No, nothing can kill Keith Richards.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis is the answer. Number 3, question 3, here we go. Where was the first Beatles concert in America? A, LA, B, DC, C, Chicago, or D, New York? Or E, Shaker Heights? Was it Shaker Heights?
I think that's it.
And the answer is DC.
DC.
Question 4. Which rock band promoted and organized the Altamont Speedway concert and used the Hells Angels as security? A, the Rolling Stones, B, the Grateful Dead, C, the Who, or D, Led Zeppelin? Answer is A, the Rolling Stones. All right, that's question 4. Let's see how we're doing here.
Who's in the lead for the big one? Erica.
Erica.
Okay.
So, Erica with 283 points. I don't know if you can tell from the questions. Can we let's give a hint? But this prize has to do with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland.
Really?
We give him a hint. That's just it. We didn't say what it was. It has to do with. Give him a teaser. If you can't tell from the
Move
questions.
on.
Here we go. Question 5. Which band produced the soundtrack for the movie Grease? A, ABBA, B, the Bee Gees, C, Steely Dan, D, Fleetwood Mac. Now, why didn't the Michael Stanley Band from Cleveland get at least on this list? Huh? Come on.
I was said no. I was denied.
The answer is the Bee Gees. Which of the following is not an Elton John song? A, I'm Still Standing. B, Your Song. C, My Life. D, Leave On. The answer is C, My Life. All right. Which band fought for your right to party? The Jonas Brothers. A, B, One Direction. C, the Beastie Boys. The Beastie Girls. D, the Beastie Boys. The answer is the Beastie Boys. All right, the last question for the big prize. Are you ready? Here it is. Wait a minute. Oh, we're going to go over the rankings. Oh, we're going back to rankings? We're not going to rankings. All right, last question. What famous guitarist played the national anthem at Woodstock? Is it A, Jimmy Page, B, Jimi Hendrix, C, Neil Young, or D, Eric Clapton? How did Tiny Tim not make the list? It was B, Jimi Hendrix.
All right, who's the winner? I want to know.
Who's the big winner?
This? Erica, congratulations. You have won an exclusive VIP tour of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for up to 6 people. And you will see, you will view parts of the collection not seen or available to the general public. And you will find out more about it when we hand you your prize. So congratulations to you and all the other winners. Thank you so much. We're going to hear a few words now from our president. It's been great.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for having me. Hallie, I had a great time. Thank you so much.
What a great program. Congratulations to our 5 honorees and trivia game prize winners. Many thanks to comic Seth Buchwald and our Latke Luck sponsors and all the individuals and businesses who donated prizes, purchased tickets, or otherwise contributed. I am also grateful for our dedicated and hardworking Latke Luck committee, and of course, I must recognize our tireless staff, Hallie Duchamp, Marianne Lax, and Nina Light. If you would like more information on Kol Israel, please visit our website at kifcle.org or just call the office. I hope you've had as much fun as I have at Latke Luck. Happy Hanukkah, stay safe and healthy. Good night.